And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. So, tonight, Charlie and I have a little bit of movie news that we're going to discuss. We got a little bit of Chrome news that's coming out with Bill Skarsgard. Is that April Fool's or is it not April Fool's? That is the question. But we're going to report it anyways as if it's rumored, and if it happens to be true, then hey, we actually got something right. Then, of course, we are also going to talk about Will Smith, the him resigning from the Academy, and what does it actually mean? Because there are some people that over here that doesn't know what that means to be resigning from the Academy. So we want to just try to break it down a little bit as to what that actually means. And then, of course, we also have some Ezra Miller news that broke and everything, too, over the debacle over Will Smith. And then, of course, after that, we also have Bruce Willis retiring. And also, too, we also have Jim Carrey retiring. So what is going on here? So without further ado, let's go on ahead and get on with the show. So the first thing I want to talk about is Will Smith, about him resigning from the Academy. And I know that you have the story drawn up already.
Yeah, I do. So essentially on Friday afternoon, if anybody that doesn't know what's going on, like if they haven't like followed like that, or if you haven't like don't have internet or anything, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock after a really insensitive joke, I would say, on at the Oscars, and the slap is the one that kind of overtook the whole show. And you figured, oh yeah, it's done. It's just a one-time thing. Like, no, the Academy went all week, wishy-washy, saying one thing and then coming back at another, and then saying that was wrong and what this happens is it's like Charlie's Day conspiracy theory board. So much stuff going on in that. So Will Smith decided to after his apology statement, he came out today and he said he resigned. He plans to forge ahead and conduct a formal to resign from the Academy, in a sense. Like, you may go and read what essentially that means, or okay. So essentially, some of the questions people have asked, but the Academy still plans to forge ahead and conduct a formal investigation and disciplinary process. I don't know why you screwed up. It's on you. Whatever. Anyway, so here's what it means. Yes, he can still keep his Best Actor Oscar for King Richard. Yes, he can still get invited to future Academy Awards ceremonies. Yes, he can still be nominated for future consideration. The only thing he's not allowed to do is he's no longer a voting member of the Academy. So essentially, he came in response to the disciplinary notice from the Academy, and he fully accepted all the consequences for his conduct. And he says, my action at the 94th Academy Awards presentation were shocking, painful, and inexcusable. The list of those I have heard is long and includes Chris, his family, many of the dear friends and loved ones, all those in attendance, and global audiences at home. He also acknowledged that his actions took away from the other nominees and winners of the night. He goes, I am heartbroken. I want to put the focus back on those who deserve attention for their achievements and allow the Academy to get back to the incredible work it does to support creativity, artistry, and film. And then now the SAGs, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, are thinking about maybe doing disciplinary actions on Will Smith. All right. Can we just end this already? Seriously, this is not news. Like, it is, but I don't know.
Here's the thing. In a sense, it is kind of a big deal, though, in a sense, because you have an Academy Award-winning actor who's been nominated several other times for Ali, and among other things, though, too. But essentially, what it actually means for Will Smith is he doesn't get to be a part of the members of voting for other Academy Awards, but he gets to keep everything else. So, in a sense, I understand him keeping the award. I think that was actually, it makes sense for him to keep it because of the fact it's based off of his performance, not based off of him acting like a douchebag or anything like that at the Academy either. So that's also another thing that we have to take in consideration, though, too. But do I think that they should have done a little bit more of a disciplinary action on him? I think that they could have restricted him from being nominated and at least a year away from the Academy, just to actually, take heat away from the Academy a little bit to where maybe this won't happen again with somebody else. But that's just my opinion on it. I think that would be the best way to go about it. But him being able to be nominated and among other things, I think that's just putting it lightly and stuff like that, in my opinion. But here's the thing, though. His career is pretty much shot, if you think about it. Because now you're an Academy Award winner. You ended up ruining your career on live television by slapping Chris Rock. Yes, the joke was out of line. Yes, I get the fact of what happened and stuff like that. And yeah, I even said this. There's always going to have to be consequences between every action. And it's up to the Academy on what action that they want to take. And I'm thinking that Will might actually take some time off from acting a little bit after this happens, especially with him resigning from anything. Of course, he also has another movie in the works right now, I believe, or he has a movie coming out. But still, I think that after that, he would actually take some time off from acting and focus on other things until maybe a year or two later or something like that, and start on something maybe more independent. But that's just my take on it, though.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of people to blame for it. Will's, yes, but then the Academy for not approving the joke that Rock's that, and the Academy coming out and saying, oh, like coming out with these wishy-washy like situations, saying one thing, then coming back out like an hour later, oh no, we actually tried doing this, and then counteracting that. Like, again, this whole Oscars was just set up. It was just the powder keg because of all like of them limiting how the whole show was run. I think was flawed. It was going to be flawed from the get-go. They're just looking for an excuse. I don't know, like an excuse to say, hey, we can still do these. And I think the show's quality for me personally, has gone down in the past. And this show, it did. I don't know. I mean, I think by saying, and then you're talking about like we need to spread all love to creativity, and technically you didn't do that. You cut out main awards from the show and then expect people to like it. And I mean, like the most on Twitter I saw, everybody was saying, wow, this is trash. Like on Twitter, I mean, it was trending in the wrong direction and everybody was more excited because of the slap. Again, I blame Will on that one. I blame Rock. But then again, this is not the first time Chris Rock has said an insensitive joke on 2016 against the Smith family. And I think he said it in 2016 and people were saying Will Smith needs to slap him. I mean, that's what they were saying on like that back in 2016. I don't know. I'm just tired of it, to be honest. I think there's more pressing things that need to be, discussed and not we're a week away. We're still talking about this when there are more really scary situation just happened with Ezra Miller. And this one is like this easily like pushes the Will Smith thing. I'm like people should be forgetting about that. And we need to talk about the DC's universe's Flash. This is his second incident that he's had in like a couple years. Cause I think the first one, he got on somebody for singing the song Shallow at a karaoke thing. So he jumped and lunged at him and he paid like a $500 fine. But this is scary stuff. So if anybody doesn't know, Ezra Miller was hit with a temporary restraining order after an arrest at a Hawaii bar. So allegedly, Ezra threatened a couple and stole a passport and wallet from their bedroom, according to the filing. He was accused of harassing. He burst into the bedroom of the couple and told the man in the room some not so pleasant things. And so it was a lot of harassment. And then again, that's essentially what it is. This is in Hawaii, and WWE needs to cut him. Like,
right. Up. Here's the thing. When you first showed me this, I was thinking, okay, maybe WB is cutting him from the Flash, which I think that they should do. Because, yeah, the $500 fine, yeah, that was a slap on the wrist. He was able to pay that, and that was no problem. Then after that, there was no problems out of him up until now. This is like arson. This is like kidnapping, putting somebody at gunpoint, for example. And also causing your time and energy being wasted on an actor that doesn't even care about the repercussions of what he's doing to the studio. Nor is he's also wasting the time and efforts of Andy Muschietti, who's the director and writer for the Flashpoint movie. And I feel like, you can get another actor to replace Ezra Miller to be able to do a better job than what Ezra Miller does. Don't get me wrong, I liked Ezra Miller and the Perks of Being a Wallflower and stuff. But underneath the acting, underneath everything, I feel like that they need to remove him and everything. There's something clinically wrong with him. He's really unbalanced and unpredictable to the point where I said he needs psychiatric help for his mental health or whatever that's going on with him. Because, like I said, you're wasting the studio's time and you're also wasting the director's time. And this, with the way this is going and everything, this film's not even going to be out until 2025.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad about how much time and effort that they actually wasted on Ezra Miller at this point.
I wonder if his character Credence, that he's portrayed in the Fantastic Beasts, because he's gone to a very dark. Credence went to a dark place in those movies. I wonder if that has something to do with it. I mean, it makes you get that again. I don't know. The funny thing is, the first time I ever saw Ezra Miller, I didn't pick up on it. Was that maybe Trainwreck with Amy Schumer?
And yeah, he was the guy that she picks up.
He was the one that she picks up, and she goes, "I want you to hit me in the face," and she slaps the crap out of him. Oh my God, you're 14.
I remember that one.
Yep, that's how I first saw him. I was like, oh, okay, and I don't know, and then I know that movie's coming out in a couple months, and actually in 14 days. That movie's coming out in 2 weeks. The third Fantastic Beast movie, and he's in that. Again, I don't know. I think Warner Brothers got it.
Really bad situation. I mean, you wind up getting rid of Johnny Depp over something that may or may not be true when you have concrete evidence on what Ezra Miller did and who has anger problems, and you slap him with a $500 fine. Now this happens? To me, I think he should just get the same treatment as Johnny Depp does, to be honest with you, to make it fair. But, my first introduction was the Perks of Being a Wallflower. I liked his character. I thought Ezra Miller's a great actor. But then all of a sudden you see him doing this ball bag stuff, and it's 10 times worse than Shia LaBeouf ever did, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I feel like WB just needs to go on ahead, cut the cord, and be done with them.
Yeah. I mean, at least there's other Warner Brother movies coming out. I know Shazam got bumped up 6 months early. Unfortunately, it's going up against the juggernaut that is Avatar 2, so we'll see how that one does. I definitely want to see both. And I was really excited when Shazam 2 got bumped up. Wait, what? Yeah. Oh my, yeah, because I love Shazam 1. I mean, there's some movies I'm excited for Warner Brothers. Others I'm not so keen on. I'm really pumped for the new Aquaman movie. I think that's gonna be good. And I love and I was looking forward to the Flash, especially after seeing the ending of the Peacemaker season. See when they showed up and seeing that scene, I just cracked up. I cried laughing. Apparently, James Gunn filmed 16 minutes of that, of the interaction between the Flash and Aquaman, all on that joke.
Oh, and wow. I would like to see deleted scenes for that, to be honest with you.
Give us the DVD of Peacemaker. If you have not seen Peacemaker, watch it easily. It's so good. It's great. I cried laughing, and it's funny for Peacemaker, again, since it's DC, the TikTok video, I think some bridal party was entering the wedding, and they entered with the song, "Do You Really Want to Taste It?" The theme song from Peacemaker, and they started doing the opening dance from the opening sequence of Peacemaker. A bridal couple entrance video music was that song for Peacemaker, and I thought, yeah, that show is so over right now. It's so good. But yeah, if you're interested in what we're talking about, watch Peacemaker. Man, the bad news just keeps on rolling, man. Again, we got
well, let's go on ahead. I want to cover the Crow reboot.
Okay.
Because at least do something a little bit positive on a positive note.
Sure.
Because it's ever since Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, it's he pretty much Thanos Hollywood into retirement. So
we did get the Top Gun, the new Top Gun trailer, and the release date of May 27th, which that blew me by surprise because I thought it was actually November of this year it's coming out.
Right.
Am I going to watch it probably on DVD? I wasn't a huge fan of Top Gun, but the fact that he announces May 27th, as the new Top Gun. I mean that's some positive because that movie keeps getting delayed more than Morbius.
But okay, so I know you have the report for The Crow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is from the JoeBlow.com, and essentially, here we go again. That's what it say. Here we go again. The Hollywood Reporter has reported that the Crow reboot is back in action with Bill Skarsgard set to star as Eric Draven. Rupert Sanders, best known for Snow White and the Huntsman and Ghost in the Shell, will direct the remake. Oh, yeah, now I know this director. This is the one that had the incident with Kristen Stewart on Snow White and the Huntsman. Great.
It's a shared universe. But anyways, no. But anyways, as everybody knows, Jason Momoa was supposed to be attached to be a part of the Crow reboot. He ended up leaving. The studio ended up going bankrupt. You ended up having basically this went into the vault and never been spoken of again. Matter of fact, it was actually supposed to have the Boardwalk Empire actor in this movie too, the one that had the missing eye.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot the actor's name, but he was supposed to be attached to play Eric Draven. Then after that, he got replaced by Jason Momoa, and that's what made. Yeah, Bradley Cooper was. But what made me fascinated about the reboot was Jason Momoa playing Eric Draven. I'm like, okay, so now I'm sold. Not to mention, I'm also a fan of The Crow, and I've also got the Crow graphic novel. But the graphic novel is completely different than what the movie actually is. But basically, if you guys are not familiar with The Crow or anything like that, after a year of Eric Draven being killed, he winds up coming back from the dead to basically put vengeance on people that killed him and his girlfriend on Halloween. But another thing, though, too, is this book was actually written by James O'Barr. James O'Barr had a wife that winded up getting killed by a drunk driver. And so, anyways, this is another thing I wanted to talk about was James O'Barr's wife winds up getting killed by a drunk driver. So he winds up writing The Crow as a coping mechanism to actually help him get over the loss of his wife. Then, of course, Brandon Lee winds up playing the iconic role of Eric Draven. But I love The Crow. The very first Crow movie is always going to be my favorite movie of all time. Of course, right next to Jaws and a couple of other films that I actually have, of course, The Godfather. But, whenever I look at Bill Skarsgard, I think that he would actually play a good Eric Draven because of the fact that you have that innocence about him to where you can care about him. And he has that role of maybe playing somebody that has not only that innocence, but that rock and roll kind of vibe to him to the point where he might actually be a sensitive type and things like that, especially whenever it comes to writing music and things like that. I would actually pay to see this reboot, to be honest with you. That's if this movie gets off the ground, because who knows? This thing is like a spinning wheel of people coming and going as you, in and out of this project all the time.
I don't know. I think this is The Crow for me is one of the movies that just need to just like leave it alone. Like this movie's cursed. Like and
it is. It really is cursed if you think about it.
This is like the sports version of the Madden curse, except people are dropping out, not getting hurt. I thought Brandon Lee did a fantastic job, and it's just so. He just had such he had that charisma. And I think it's very hard to replicate. I mean, Bill Skarsgård might do a good job, but I don't know. I think I'm at this point. I'm with the what the title of the Joe Blow article. Here we go again. It's like
right.
It's
and here's the thing.
It's never gonna get made. I personally don't think it's going to. I mean, would I wish it? Yeah, if it's done right. And this one, I found out who the director of this one is. I don't know. Like, I think he's probably gonna be dropping out soon. I don't know. Again, I'm on the fence on this one. I'm honestly like, can we just leave this movie alone? Like, there's very few movies that I want Hollywood to not touch. This is one of them. Like, you don't need to reboot it. Just have people watch the original and maybe appreciate Brandon Lee more. Maybe to see some of his other stuff that he's done. Because man, he's charismatic. He's that. And I think the other problem too that this movie might have is the soundtrack was so good.
Oh man, the soundtrack was awesome, dude. I mean, this is the soundtrack that got me into Nine Inch Nails. This is also the soundtrack that got me into Soundgarden, grunge era. This I was 10 years old when I saw this film for the first time in theaters. This movie has a lot of emotion for me, a lot of attachment for me personally. And, you know, there is a part of me that says, you know what, I'm excited to see Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven, but on the other hand, it's like you said, here we go again. Is this actually going to happen? Is this let's say, for instance, that this is actually legit and this is actually going to get greenlit. I'm going to be excited once it actually breaks ground. I felt this way whenever Gambit. Remember when Shane Tatum was supposed to be Gambit? Yeah. And it kept on getting delayed. And the matter of fact, they actually had to get rid of the set pieces. But even with another example I want to bring up is Uncharted. Uncharted is actually a better example than that. Where basically they said, oh, it's going to come out at this time and that time. And it kept on getting delayed and delayed and delayed. I'm like, I'll believe it whenever I hear them say, we broke ground and now we're set and ready to go. That'll be the only time that I actually will believe them at that point. Right now, it's a fugazi. It's fake to me because of the fact that I don't think it's gonna happen. That's just my thoughts on it. But I'd like to see Bill Skarsgård play him. Yeah, I think he will do a fantastic job. But I love Brandon Lee. No one can top Brandon Lee when you look at Eric Draven. Yes, it's not an Academy Award performance at all, but still, he did a fantastic job. Like you said, Charlie, he's charismatic. You make him care about the character. He has characterization of a character. He knows who he is, knows the identity of that character. You have Stone Temple Pilots on this soundtrack. It's just an iconic soundtrack when you look at it. Now, if they did it, it wouldn't even, I don't even know who you would put on that soundtrack, to be honest with you, if you want that gothic kind of feel to it.
Maybe Evanescence, maybe, but then that's about it. And honestly, like, I think the big concern here would be they're going to mess up the soundtrack, and it's going to make people hate this movie.
Not unless... I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, man. No, not unless they get Trent Reznor to do the soundtrack for the scoring. That would be the only thing that would actually save the soundtrack a little bit. Where he just does the scoring and doesn't do the rock music and stuff like that. Although the rock music is the big part of who Eric Draven is because he's a rock star. Yeah. But I'll let you continue on, though.
That's the problem. And I think there's not many rock stars out there now compared to there was in the 90s. Like, sure, you can get the Cure back. I don't know if they're doing anything. But again, I think that's the whole point of that's why you just need to leave this movie alone, because you're going to find music and then you're going to ruin music that was really good back in the 90s. As to quote Deadpool, I'm gonna do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the early 90s or whatever, or something like whatever. Like it's just got bad news because that's the whole point of the Crow is the soundtrack was good. Now there's not much. Like there's not much and then because people are gonna complain about the music, it's just that and
if you have rock alternative music, it's not the same kind of rock alternative music that I grew up on and stuff like that. It's not. Here's the thing. That was an era of goth. Yeah. And everything. Now they call it emo and everything else, and it's not the same flavor as it. Even whenever you look at, perfect example, 3 Days Grace, for example. They changed out Adam Gautier for another rock star person from My Darkest Days, the lead singer from that. And to me, he's not believable. He's not angry. He doesn't have any range or emotion. He's like a whiny little bitch. Mm-hmm. And, that's just my thoughts on it. Because I feel like that in order for you to be a rock star, you have to have some type of range or emotion when you're singing. When you're doing a soundtrack, you're supposed to have some type of range or emotion. Nowadays, nobody really has that range or emotion unless you count Shinedown or somewhere around that area. And everything, and I don't feel the passion like I used to feel, like when rock stars would actually sing and stuff. Other than maybe you count Korn or something like that, but still, the thing is very slim, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't want them for the Crow to ruin the Crow in a sense and make it more of a horror movie because there's horror aspects in it, but it was more of an action comic book movie. And then I figured, I don't know, again. this is just a road we've been down before. I really don't want this to happen, honestly. I hope this is an April Fool's joke because we're still technically on April 1st, so I don't know if this is going to be true or not. I'm really hoping it's April Fool's joke because I think this is one that we're like, just let the late Brandon Lee just leave him in peace. Stop trying to ruin this movie. Like, this movie's not happening. That, for anybody wondering, is Uncharted a real movie? Yeah, it is. Uncharted's a real movie. I've seen it. It's awesome. But that was when I was happy. That one took forever, and I was worried. I was like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Yeah, it happened, and it's great. But this one, I don't think this is gonna happen.
I don't think so either. And I'm thinking to myself, why would a studio waste their time and efforts on a movie that is don't get me wrong, studios waste their time and efforts on reboots all the time. But why would they want to go ahead and waste their time and efforts on something that has been a spindle of directors leaving over creative differences, actors leaving over creative differences, a studio that got bankrupt, now another studio has that property now. Why would they waste their time trying to do something with this? So part of me is thinking this might be an April Fool's joke, but then on the other hand, other sources are reporting it though too. So it makes me kind of hesitant because they could all be part of the joke. So I'm actually lukewarm about if this is true or not. But if this is true, I have to go with that. Let's go with thank you, Egenardo. The Crow 1994 is my third. This is actually, to be honest with you, I would actually put The Crow as my number 1, and I would actually put The Godfather as number 2, and then Jaws is number 3. But that could actually change within time or whatever. But that's just how I have my tiers right now. But it could change. But I think that right now, I think it's just easy to say that this probably isn't true because of April Fools. But hey, if they got us, they got us.
I'm rooting for it to be not true. I'm really rooting for it. Then again, like next week, they'll probably say, "Oh yeah, it's not happening," or whatever. It's like we've gone down this road before, but man, I'm rooting for this to be an April Fool's joke because this is just like, just leave it alone. Leave it alone.
This is why I rarely do movie news on April Fools. But since everybody's been asking me about this, I figured, hey, why not? Let's try it out.
Yeah.
But so now we go on ahead and let's do some retirement news. Not from us, but let's do some retirement news. First off, let's want to talk about Bruce Willis.
Okay.
I wanted to start with him.
Yep.
And I know that he's retiring because of aphasia. Aphasia is actually something that affects his speech. And this also is the reason why I felt like he was, and I want to just apologize to anybody that's going through aphasia and stuff like that too, because of the fact that all this time I've been saying, oh, Bruce has just been phoning it in. I think everybody's been saying that. Even Kevin Smith had issues with him on the set of Cop Out. But Kevin Smith just recently apologized to Kevin. Kevin Smith just apologized to Bruce Willis for being rude to him whenever he didn't know that he was going through this. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know anything about aphasia until this actually happened. But I'll even own up to the fact that I even said Bruce Willis has been phoning it in for years. I'm ready for him to play not Bruce Willis anymore. I'm ready for him to come back into being the level of actor that I know. And now I feel really bad for saying the things that I said. And I even called him a ball bag for asking for more money from Sylvester Stallone because of the fact that after he got off the plane from the Expendables, he wanted more money. And then Sylvester Stallone went on and said, no, you signed your contract for this X amount of money. You don't get any money. Then we're going to go ahead and fly you back out back over to California, wherever you're at. But now I'm actually at that level where okay, so it makes sense why he's just playing certain characters the way he's playing it because of the aphasia, because of his condition. And I just want to say this, Bruce Willis is a great actor. Hudson Hawk is actually one of my favorite movies. The Kid is one of my favorite movies. Die Hard is the first 3 Die Hard movies are actually one of my favorite movies to watch for action-packed films.
The fourth one's pretty good.
The fourth one has its moments of being good and everything here and there. But would I've loved to see a Nakatomi reunion where basically it's the anniversary of Nakatomi and Bruce Willis once again has to save the world? Heck yeah, sign me up for that ticket. But it's not going to happen now, sadly, if they were ever going to do that. but it breaks my heart to see someone that we know from when you were a kid, when I was a kid, and now he has this condition, and it just breaks my heart to see him go through this. You know?
I mean, I just watched one of his, I think, like directed DVD videos too, and it's not his fault. It wasn't good. I think it was a lot of like it seemed like he wasn't in it. But yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's just like seeing him like go for this, and I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. I really liked a lot of his movies, and it was this. I mean, now you have like John Travolta coming out and like coming out with his sympathy for it because he worked with him in probably one of the ones that really restarted his career again in Pulp Fiction, and that's a great Tarantino movie, and like he was really good in it. And I mean, there's so much good stuff, movies that Bruce Willis has done, and personally, I love the first 4 Die Hard movies. Yeah, would I wish the 4th one was Peter R? Sure, but I the action was great, and got to see Matt Q and Bruce Willis doing those like one where I was like, oh yeah, her. Last time I saw her, she fell down an elevator shaft with an SUV rammed up her ass. But man, she was smoking hot. Like that John McClaneism stuff. Sure, was the 5th one bad? Yeah, I saw it in theaters, and it had its moments. But then again, Bruce Willis though, like he's given us so much good stuff, and he has one of the great conversations that is Die Hard a Christmas movie? It's an easy answer for me. Yes, it's a Christmas movie.
Yep.
We can have it definitely is a Christmas movie, and a lot of people disagree, but that's fine. That's the whole point of this. Even Bruce Willis had to come out on his roast on the comments saying it's not a Christmas movie. It's a really good Bruce Willis movie, and I was really glad to see him at the have a roast. Not in a recent Comedy Central roast, because that was funny. And seeing all the people out there and like just how many good friends he's had and how Ed Norton really helped him, how he's helped out Ed Norton's career about writing a script. And then he's like, hey man, I want in. And this, that. And it's a bummer because Bruce Willis is just so good. And I really hope he's able to get pull through with this, because I don't know how long he's had this. I think he was just recently diagnosed. I don't know how long he's had this condition.
Right.
What? Yeah, but I
liked him in Looper. Looper was a great science fiction movie with him and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I also liked him in, even it was a remake of a Charles Bronson movie, but Death Wish was good. I really I enjoyed it. Just to chill, sit back and relax and watch him kill some people that killed his daughter and everything too. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
I think they killed his wife.
His wife. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Whatever. Still. I mean, I saw it years ago. I mean, it was all right. And then again, I think I've seen that movie like so many times. And I think if you want a better version of that, just watch The Punisher. Honestly, or again, I mean, but I mean,
there are better revenge movies though.
He's given us so much good stuff. I mean, an underrated movie. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. I just watched recently was The Last Boy Scout. That was funny.
That was good.
I mean, he was good in that, and so yeah, he's given us a lot of great content. And I'm really hoping he pulls through with this, and hopefully it isn't hopefully he's able to like live a nice couple long life, retiring, and hope he's able to have a good time with his family and stuff. Because I think he sold a lot of his property for his family. So I don't know how serious this. It's a serious disease. I just don't know how far along we are with this. So I hope he's able to pull through with this, because Bruce Willis he's a good actor. Is he gonna win? Is he a good Academy Award? No, that's not the point of him. The point is to have a good time at the movie theater, and he's definitely given that. I mean, he's now known with that great Aerosmith song that Bleeds of Glory ruined, which is also a great movie too. I think that I forgot the name of that song. I think it was played at the end of Armageddon, I believe.
Oh yeah, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
Yeah,
by Aerosmith. Of course I would know that because Aerosmith is from Boston, so of course I would know.
Well, that's the song that they played in Blades of Glory when Jimmy McElroy and Chaz Michael Micros are doing their first pair-to-pair matchup, and while they're wearing Fire and Ice unitards, and they're playing Don't Want to Miss a Thing while the two of them are doing like stuff on the ice. My mom always jokes like that. Every time I think of that song, I always think of Blade's Glory now. Ruins that song.
Oh my god.
If you have not seen Blades of Glory, watch it. It's a great sports movie.
But yep, Bruce Willis is a great actor. I definitely enjoy his performances, even in The Sixth Sense. Even though I feel like The Sixth Sense, in a way, is kind of overrated once you actually get past the surprise. Because once you wind up seeing the plot twist, it's after you get done viewing it for like the third time, it loses its value to me, in my opinion. But still, overall, he did a great job with that film. With Shame Night M. Night, I thought that he did a really good job with The Sixth Sense whenever it came out. So now we get into our last bit of movie news with Jim Carrey retiring.
This one, I don't know. It's hard to tell with Jim Carrey. He says he's fairly serious about retiring, but then again, he kind of is like, I don't know. He's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm taking a break. Again, it's the article saying, well, I'm retiring. Yeah, probably. I'm being fairly serious, so it depends. If the Angels bring some sort of script that's written in gold ink that says to me that's going to be really important for people to see, I might continue down the road. But he goes, he's taking a break. Yeah, he really likes his quiet. I really like my quiet life, and I really like putting paint on canvases, and I really like my spiritual life. And I'm like, and this is something you might never hear another slave as long as time exists. I have enough. I've done enough. I am enough. I don't know. I don't. Is he doing it? I don't know. It's hard to tell. And
I feel like he is in a way.
Yeah.
After Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I think he wants to take a break, even more of a break, because I don't really feel like he's been in much or anything like that. But I feel like I feel like that he's actually being serious, especially after he went on ABC talking about the events that had happened with Will Smith. And then also too, he has some stuff that happened when he was going up against gun violence and stuff like that when he was going to promote Kick-Ass 2.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's maybe a little bit of a backlash with that. And then also too, maybe he just figures, you know what, I'm at that age now where I can just make bank. I can just make royalties off of everything that I've ever had and not have to worry about making any more films anymore. And everything. I mean, he gave us some great comedies, and Ace Ventura, The Mask. The list just goes on. Liar, Liar was also another one of my favorite ones he's done. Like I said, the man is iconic, and also too, even though people didn't really care for the number 21, I can appreciate what he tried to do with that film, and showed us a different level of craziness from Jim Carrey than what we expected. Even what's that one movie where basically they have to go in through his mind?
Well, the internal
Sunshine of the Sunshine Spot.
Something mine. I think it was him and I think it might have been Naomi Watts. I think again. I don't quote me on that. I forgot. I
think Kate Winslet was in it.
Oh yeah, Kate Winslet. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's like he's trying to get rid of his like memories of his ex, and it's something like that. I've heard of that movie. I think I just can't. It's a long title, so it's hard to.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's the Eternal Sunshine of the Sunshine Spot of the Sunshine Spots or something like that.
Yeah, whatever. It's close enough.
But I have to say, I really like that film a lot because of the fact that he gave his dramatic chops, his comedic chops. It's highly underrated. Nobody really talks about that film. But man, I sat there. I mean, maybe a couple of years back, when it was on DirecTV, and I wound up watching it. And I'm glad that I did at the time. But yeah, The Mask is always going to be one of my favorites, though, too, El Gianardo. Because of the fact I also own this Mask soundtrack. And a matter of fact, I just bought it for the Rumba Beat song, just so I can actually do that for the talent show at my school and everything. And they didn't even pick me for the talent show. But still, I think maybe I was maybe just over the top. But, you know, it just shows to show you how much inspiration that Jim Carrey had over me in my life. And also too, he was also in Living Color was also his first appearance on and everything too.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, and of course he also pissed off Tommy Lee Jones to the point where he wanted to kill him on the Batman set. But you know, we have some iconic stuff with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, if he wants to retire now, he's retiring on top of the bang, to be honest with you. So I have no objection to it if it is true.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have objection to it either. I think it's just hard to like think if this is true, because again, we're still on April 1st, so it's kind of hard to like, is it happening? Because he's a funny guy, so I don't know if he meant to come out on April 1st, because I don't know, because April 1st is known that we've gone so many, so.
If this was Ryan Reynolds and doing this, I wouldn't believe him because of the fact that it's Ryan Reynolds.
He's still got so much stuff to do, Ryan Reynolds. I mean, we gotta get Deadpool 3, and I think there's gonna be a Free Guy sequel. There's just so much that Ryan Reynolds has left in the tank, and honestly, I'm all for it. Give me more Ryan Reynolds. Same with Keanu. If you give me more Keanu, it's like honestly, like I'm like. I mean, you got Tom Cruise in his late still doing this stuff, doing like throwing his body on the line. I mean, again, if you know your time's up, then it's fine. But again, April 1st is really hard to like really think if this is true or not. Like, so I'm trying to like, I'm okay if it's true, but if it's not true, it wouldn't surprise me because today's still April 1st. Like, I was still shocked when Morbius was coming out April 1st. Everybody's like, is this a joke? Really? Are we seriously getting Morbius?
I was even thinking that too. I'm like, are they just April fooling me because of the fact that I've been waiting for that movie for a while, and now I'm kind of nervous about it. But we'll talk about that whenever I do my movie review with Alex on Monday. But
I heard it's going to make a lot of money though. I think it costs a little bit less than Venom, and Venom got negative reviews. But then again, that still had like good fame. I think it was projected to be in the 40, 50 million range.
The thing that makes me hesitant with this movie is the runtime. Not only because Venom, the very first Venom movie was 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And even though he was introduced in the third Spider-Man, we already got introduced to that character. This is a character, unless you read the comics, unless you know who Morbius is, to the average moviegoer, you're not going to know who Morbius is. And it only clocks in an hour and 45 minutes tops. And that movie needs to be longer than an hour and 45 minutes. That's what is going up against it for me right now as to where I'm kind of hesitant with it. But am I excited? Yeah, I'm still excited. But at the same time, I'm just kind of hesitant right now. Because there's that red flag. The embargo is another red flag for me. But I'm still going to go on and see it. I'm still, if I want, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it whenever I see it on Monday. But,
honestly, if I had to choose between Morbius or Ambulance that I'd rather see in theaters, all right, now I'm with Ambulance because I know I'm gonna get it's a Michael Bay movie. But again, that's just if I'm had to choose between which two I'd rather see in theaters. I gotta go Ambulance because that just I don't know, that just looks so intense, and I'm like, I gotta see this.
And it's very different from what Michael Bay normally does, though, too. So that's something that I would like to see.
Yeah, and I think I watched the featurette, and he goes, if you're expecting some Michael Bay explosions, yeah, you're going to get some Michael Bay explosions. Because, of course, you got to get a Michael Bay explosion.
And spinning camera angles. But, yeah.
Well, yeah, you'll get that, too. I think you see, like on one of his trailers, you see the camera angle zoom on this huge building, and then it goes right down, like, classic Michael Bay style. I'm like, okay. But then again, I like Jake Gyllenhaal, and I think he's just that type of actor, and I think but it's a good featurette if you're looking for like some like to get you kind of a little bit like I heard some decent things of it. So if you like Michael Bay, you're probably gonna like this movie. But then again, that's just me.
All right. Well, with that being said, guys, I think that's gonna be it as far as the show goes and everything. Thank you, Charlie, for joining me and doing the news reports. I do appreciate that.
Yep.
As always. Thank you, Jaro, for joining us in the live chat. We do appreciate that. Matter of fact, if you want to, go on ahead, go over to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and comment below. We just dropped our Moon Knight our Moon Knight episode 1 review last night. Well, not last night, but today. So go on and check that out. I also have some Pennywise news that dropped about a prequel coming up on HBO Max about a prequel show, so go on and check that out. We have plenty of stuff here at Movie Lovers Unite for you guys to enjoy for your enjoyment, but if you can't watch us live sometimes, we do have an audio-only podcast that you guys can get that on Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all those good places that you can actually rate us and also to leave us comments. Go over to Good Pods. Good Pods is actually a place where it's basically social media for us as podcasters or someone that likes to listen to a podcast, go ahead, rate us over there. Tell us what you think about each individual episode if you choose to listen to several other episodes that we have. Another thing too is I'm excited about the new It series though too, Al Jaro. To be honest with you, I'm so excited. I'm pumped up for that because they could do so much stuff. Like maybe they can do some Dark Tower stuff with it. Maybe it could actually be something more than just it. But Bill Skarsgård is hands down to me. I love Tim Curry for what he did with it, but I like how Bill Skarsgård was able to give you the innocence of the clown to lure the kids in there, and then whenever you least expect it, when those eyes are glowing, that's when you need to actually run. But still, I think that's actually a smart move because I even said this with the Castle Rock series that they needed to go ahead and capitalize on the Castle Rock series at the time because they can actually make a prequel series out of it and make it a whole entire thing with it. But they chose not to do that and they canceled the series. Now HBO Max has Welcome to Derry, so that's actually something that I'm excited about. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us with that. But anyways, if you want to go ahead, check us out on the audio podcast and stuff like that. Rate individual episodes and tell us what you think over there on Good Pods. Of course, if you want to donate to this page or anything like that, all you have to do is go over to www.buymeacoffee.com/movie lovers. That's how you can donate $5 to $10 over there. Then, of course, go on ahead, follow us on TikTok at Movie Lovers Unit 0, and then Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter. And that's everywhere that you can reach out to us at. Of course, if you want to be on the show, if you're a sponsor, go on ahead, reach out to us by emailing us at movieloversunite@gmail.com. And that's everywhere that you guys can go ahead and follow us at. And that's going to be it for the show. And always, until next time, guys, it's been real, it's been fun, and I can't wait to do this again. And bye-bye.